Hello and welcome to 2020. When you are seeing this, it is Wednesday, January 1st. Wow, so today we are doing my December wrap up, of course. And I've read, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. One of them is a graphic novel and another one's a very short arc, but it's okay. But so we did 9 today, and I ended up, for the year, I ended up reading 90 books. My goal was kind of 100, but it wasn't at the same time. It was kind of like, if I get there, cool. If not, it's okay. So I just did 90. So next year, I have my goal, or this year, my goal will be 91, because I always try to beat the goal from the year before. And if I keep reading and it ends up going insane, I don't know what's gonna happen. So the first book, if you watched my books I want to read before 2020, I actually got 2 of those done, and the is A Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. I highlighted a couple things. This was really easy because it's kind of like a self-help book. And kind of at the end, things that really was not portraying for really my life. I kind of just read really fast. So this was a fast read. I think I read that in like 2 days. Oh wait, I got 3. I think this was in my video, but that is Shooter by Caroline Pignat. I'm pretty sure I had this in that video. And I think I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. If you saw my review for That's Not What Happened, you know I loved that book and I really did like it. I thought it had a very good portraying of how like it is to be on the other side of, like, to be inside of what's happening. This, you know, I wouldn't recommend this one, but I definitely read That's Not What Happened. That one is definitely a very good book. This is kind of the same concept, and it's like the survivors and just talking about what is happening during the shooting and all that. And it was definitely, like, the twist was just like, okay, that was weird, but also just, I was excited for this and it kind of let me down. Next book that I finished was Girls of Paper and Fire. I ended up, I think, giving this a 4 out of 5, or it was like a 3 point something, I don't know. Well, it was funny because I saw someone on Instagram who just finished it and gave it a low rating, and then I have my friend that I talk about all the time who really loved it, and I did like it. Isn't my favorite? No. Would I ever reread it again? Probably not. But it ended up being one of those things where I was just like, I thought the love story was way too prominent, and then it didn't really do much for me, and I don't know, I just, the king definitely got on my nerves, and I feel like the love story, for a fantasy, it was too much of a love story for a fantasy pretty fast, because I was like, oh, what's gonna happen next? But then the next thing happened, I'm just like, oh, that's it, okay. So I am going to be reading the sequel with, for a buddy read. it hasn't came into the library yet because they didn't have it and they had to order it, which, thank you to my library for ordering things when I asked, because I asked for a lot of books. This book that I am so glad that I finally finished after a whole, I think, a year or so, and that is Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. So if you've seen my channel, you know that I have this weird thing with third books in series, and like, okay, so first one's usually not my favorite, second one I love, and third one takes me forever to read. Like, this one took me forever. The third book, To All the Boys Loved Before, took me a while. What is it? I think Ignite Me took me a while to read. Third books, I don't know why, except for Queen of Nothing, I got through that pretty fast. The Thousandth Floor, I need to read the third book. You know, third books of me is not very good, but this one I finally know so I have a Facebook page about Throne of Glass, and there's always like memes that I'm just like, oh, I don't get it. But now after reading this, I get some of them. And so it's kind of be cool to finally be in the loop. I kind of started Queen of Shadows. I didn't want to, because I didn't want to go into the new year reading books. But that one, I just, I couldn't stop. And then I started reading it, and then I stopped reading it. And the next book that I read was Small Spaces, which you saw in my, I believe it was Reading 100 Pages a Day vlog. I'm sure I did read that. I really did like it. It was like creepy, but it wasn't too creepy because it's kind of like a kid's book, but it was like a good, but still really good, really short. I sometimes, like, after reading a whole bunch of big books, I really like small books. So if you like small books like that, Small Spaces is a really good one. I also read an ARC for, so I have, besides NetGalley, there is this other ARC form, like Hidden Gems, that I sometimes get ARCs from. And I don't say yes to a lot of them because a lot of them I think are just like, I don't know, they just like don't fit me. Well, I did get one where it's about twins, and the sequel was All Has Been Said, and I read that in one night because it's just so good. It's so cheesy. It's about these twins, you know, and their mom dies, and one lives in the UK, one lives in the US, and the sister has to come to the US to live with her father. Her father's really rich, and she's just like doesn't like him. And you know, it's really I teared up a couple of times just because of the relationship between the twins, and then the relationship between her and his friend, and her just figuring out his life while she was away. A good emotional read that like won't tear you apart, but will like make you feel like have the feels inside. Another book that I read real quickly because I was at Barnes & Noble's reading with a friend was Pumpkinheads. I said this in end of the year book tag, I believe, that I wanted to read it, and I did, and it was really cute and I really liked it. That was my first book of Rainbow Rowell that I finished. Because I have Eleanor and Park, but I just never finished it. I do have a plan to read that one because I am doing Swiftathon, which is, you know, Taylor Swift readathon's my jam. I'm so excited. It's like a month. There's gonna be a whole video. I think that comes next week or the week after. I don't remember, but you will see that in my TBR. I've already have it ready. I have kind of been into graphic novels. It kind of just depends. Like the anime one's not really my thing, but like Pumpkinheads, like definitely would read more of that. The next book that I finally finished was Tales from the Shadowhunters Academy. We finished this last night. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars because I was so excited to read about Simon because Simon's my boy, right? And I don't know, just the stories kind of fell short. Some are good, some are okay. We finally finished this. I am probably going to make another updated Shadowhunters video whenever Chain of Gold comes out, and we're going to talk about if I have caught up by now. I believe we might be doing Ghost of the Shadowhunters Market next, thanks to Scribd for having the audiobooks, because I don't have that book yet, because a lot of these I have, well, the first 2 series I bought like the box set, and then I bought the 3rd series like when it came out. And then with these, the Bane Chronicles, the Shadowhunters Codex, I've all been getting at half-price books because eventually I will find it. And so, because the Shadowhunter Market is like $30 at Barnes & Noble's, and I was like, oh my god, that's a lot. That's literally the whole book, my whole gift card that I got for Christmas. Another Rainbow Rowell book that I finally finished was Carry On. When I first started reading this, I was like at a strong like 4 stars, but now that I finished it, it was definitely a 5-star read. So good. I understand why people love this book so much, and I understand why they love the characters so much. Baz and Simon are just, oh my god. So I am really excited to get into Wayward Son. But I did buddy read this, and I am gonna buddy read the next one. It's just one girl doesn't have it, and then the library for my library, someone checked it out already, and someone requested it and they haven't even checked it out yet. So who knows how long that will be, because who knows if they read fast or if they read slow. I don't know. But I really did like this book. I know this is like a very popular book, and it's one of those things that took me forever to read, but finally got that I finally finished it. I have 2 Rainbow Rowell books done. So hopefully this year will be more of her books and just like getting through all that. That is it for today's video. Short and simple with my wrap-ups, you know, just talk about what you read and how you felt. I am excited for this new year. I have a bunch of videos already planned out. I am going to be sticking to my schedule of posting every Wednesday, and I have January and most of February done. You know, I try not to do too far because, you know, something changes, which is why I write in pencil. And yeah, so I am really excited for, I think I believe next week is going to be my Little Mermaid retellings recommendations video. So excited for that one because that is my favorite retellings, and we're going to be talking about, I believe, 3 or 4 books that I really loved. We're going to talk about one that I really have. I don't hate books, but this one I hate it. It made me so mad, and you will see that in next week's video. So like this video, subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.